Hello and welcome to the Farming Simulator League Grand Final here at FarmCon. I am here with Copter, who was here for a mammoth session yesterday. Saw lots of amazing games from what I hear.
Yeah, we had a wonderful yesterday. I think it was like 9 hours of a broadcast, a lot of Farming Simulator content for you guys, and we did it together with Terminator, but today Terminator is busy with his other task with the influencers. So, of course, lovely Alex, Virtual Farmer, has arrived as well. So he had a flight yesterday from Heathrow. After all the different moments on his travel, he finally found his way back here to Germany, and here we are. So finally, we are back together with Alex, and we are ready to take the final 3 matches. We had so many exciting matches yesterday, and of course, a lot of memorable moments as well. Everybody remembers the toss from Trelleborg, for example. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to be making some new memories, because today we have the final 3 teams, €80,000 prize pool. And yeah, it's going to be the World Championships, the final, and I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely massive day here. You can see at the moment the teams are getting ready out there on the stage. You can see the German casters out there, and there's a massive crowd here at FarmCon today. It is a record crowd of over 3,500 people here. Biggest FarmCon ever. Has been an absolutely amazing first day of FarmCon, and yeah, we're going to round it out with some fantastic FSL matches.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the match Trelleborg versus Helm, or Helm versus Trelleborg. This is the final game of the upper bracket, so none of these teams have lost the game. And what's going to happen after this game is that the winner will take the place. They will claim their place on the grand final, and then the losing team will be actually dropping to the lower bracket, and will be playing versus MyInsanity. So in the next game, then the losing team will be playing from the second grand final spot on the final of the lower bracket as well. So there we had it, and of course we do have the great video content from yesterday as well, so we'll be seeing what these guys are actually made of. So the Helm introduction is going to be starting right now.
Helm, the reigning champions of the Farming Simulator League, have carved their legacy since the glorious Season 3. From their very debut, they've wielded the mechanics like seasoned farmers, each move precise, each strategy calculated. When the dust settles, their rivals lie vanquished, outplayed by their sheer brilliance. They march into the season finale as first of the league, and with a clear mission: defend the title and once again call themselves the champions.
So I don't think that these guys need much of an introduction. We have seen these guys to play. They have been winning 2 seasons in a row, and so many tournament victories. I think they have like a couple of hundred Nobel chairs at home as well. So we know these guys, they have done everything so far pretty much right, and of course now they're defending their championships from the previous season, and of course they came here on the lead with the circuit points as well. But I would say that Trelleborg, who's going to be playing against them, they have been showing some really good moves as well. And so to be completely honest, from all of out of these top 3 teams that we currently have, it's really hard for me to tell who's going to be actually on the grand final. What are your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, it's been a real thing the end of the season to see these teams all growing together in ability and getting really, really close. And I think a lot of that was shown yesterday with how close some of the games were. And but now we're going to go across to the hype video for their opponents. Here's for Trelleborg.
Rising from the ashes of former champions, Trelleborg Tires find themselves ranked at 3rd place and within striking distance of the FSL Championship. No strangers to this tournament, they've graced the finale twice before, going head-to-head with Helm. All good things come in threes. This could be their time to get their revenge and finally reclaim the title.
So there we had it. Trelleborg And what happened actually yesterday on the tournament was that Trelleborg actually knocked down MyInsanity to the lower bracket. But Helm, all the opponents they have been playing against so far, they are already out of the tournament. So the only record that we know is the Trelleborg versus MyInsanity from yesterday. And of course now, I mean, I guess this is the very highly anticipated match. Of course, Helm versus Trelleborg. I don't think that we could have a better match to start today.
I agree with you. These two teams have been getting closer and closer in ability. Trelleborg have been fighting their way back up to get themselves as good as they are. And I cannot pick between these two teams who I think is going to win this match.
Yeah, I tried to have a bit of a chat with Helm before the matches, but they didn't give out much. I was asking about how they feel about it. Of course, they were very self-confident and so on. But they told me a funny fact about Trelleborg, that the Trelleborg players, they have never worn their sweaters. All the team sweaters, they are always like this, as we can see on the chairs. And they were wondering that will they finally at the final use the sweaters if they actually get there, because they have been always using them on the chairs.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing that JK was actually telling me about the opponent. So I would say that their strategy book is currently very closed. I mean, they are playing from the victory of the season. The winner's going to be getting 40,000 euros. That's a huge chunk of money.
Massive
so
chunk of money.
They didn't want to leak anything, of course, to me.
No. And that's so yeah. Of course I'd never realised that, but yeah, they always sit there with their shirts on the back of their chairs, and yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they have to earn their shirts.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Trelleborg, they do have a name which has a history, so maybe they have to live up to the reputation of the name before they can actually wear the shirts. You know, the same thing as which you have with Mercedes, the silver bullet. Did you know that the Mercedes race cars, they are not allowed to call the silver arrows before they have won a championship?
Wow, that's. That you know what? I'd love it if that was it. I would love it if they really couldn't wear those shirts until they'd actually won a championship. It's one of those things though that I can see. Well, whichever of these team loses, I think both of them are going to have a big task against MyInsanity to get to the final, and there's every possibility that MyInsanity will win and knock them out, because both these teams have been knocked out by MyInsanity before. And then they've got a hard task to get. They've got to get back to the final, and they're going to have to play 3 matches in a row if they do it.
And there we go, finally, Helm versus Trelleborg tires, and this will be definitely something. So the first game of today, so we have 3 matches today. This is the final of the upper bracket, then we have the final of the lower bracket, and then we know our final teams, and then we have the grand final. 2 first matches going to be best of 3s, and then the grand final will be best of 5. And what I really want to see here, will we have finally... Yes, we do have the telehandlers in play, because that was the thing yesterday, that we didn't see them only in a couple of first matches, but then they kind of like disappeared completely. And I was really much hoping that Helm versus Trelleborg, both teams very capable of using the telehandlers. I really wanted to see that they are actually using them, and that is what we will have here as well.
And it looks like Trelleborg late on have decided that they want to ban telehandler. They can't ban both of them, so both teams are forced to use. So it will be a telehandler they're forced to use. And yeah, we've got that big class combine band, which Helm likes to do to sort of even things up.
Yeah, we have seen the 8R from John Deere and the Lexicon being kind of like defaults from Helm. At least yesterday, and but then just having the other telehandler band, that's a little bit awkward, but it happens. So, but anyways, I'm super excited to see. We do have the Manito, of course, on the both sides. So we have Loiko and Martin picking the telehandlers. We do have Fendt, the big Varios on the both of the sides as well, and so on. So nothing that special about the otherwise. Now we have everything loaded. We got to be going to the game. We got to be finally starting the battle from the pods. And yesterday it was actually pretty chill on the pods. We didn't see that many challenges. Teams were just finding their ways. We had the highest first bale yesterday, was 100 and was it actually 51 that we got yesterday? Yeah, that was made by Helm, if I'm not completely mistaken. And then the rest of the first bales were like 148 range or something like that. So of course we are expecting and hoping to see some magical first bales. But there we go. We're gonna be heading towards the pads, and JK seems to be immediately finding his target. He's gonna go for the baler from here. So of course, I mean, we had the Fend Forum, so he's gonna take the Fend baler. Of course, that's gonna be the case.
And he's not being challenged on that. Yep. Now there is the opportunity here if either of the teams can get two of the other combines off here, then they can force the other team to use the tiny little old Deutz. Doesn't look like either team has gone for it, but it was certainly something that was open early on in the game.
Yeah, let's see how this is going to fly. But yeah, like you mentioned, JK was not challenged at all, and we didn't see the baler on that area. Now we can see Martin actually getting the baler slightly further away from the barn, so JK is going to be just coming back there. But yeah, they're going to be pressing their first bale. We can see how far they are actually from the barn. On the X-ray, we can see that Trelleborg is actually closer, so Trelleborg seems to be having maybe, if they don't do any kind of a mistake. Okay, they're still bailing here, so they don't have it pressed. So this is actually pretty even. The JK is going to be crossing that bridge. For sure, it's not going to be 140. We are maybe getting something like a 128-ish, pending if he's going to toss that in. But no, he wants to play it safe, and he's going to reverse that in. So we see some very, very traditional first bales here. That's going to be a I don't know, 29, 24 actually. So that's a pretty low, but I mean, it doesn't matter because Heiden's going to be coming now as well, and he's going to miss that swing.
He missed.
He can still save that though. We saw yesterday some first bales which were missed so badly that they were not able to save them at all. So they completely lost them, and that's going to be 109.
Still
so
15-point difference, has a bale and a half in the top.
Yeah, 3/4 of a bale.
Yeah, sorry, a bale and a half in the bottom, 3/4 of a bale in the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there we had it. Silo closed and direct delivery going to be amongst the first drops here. And we didn't, I mean, yes, we saw some early deliveries yesterday, but not so early that the silo close actually would have some kind of a meaning. So the direct delivery is going to be the chosen by Helm, and it's going to be chosen by Trelleborg as well. So they will just slowly start collecting that grain straight to the silo.
Yeah, and if one team goes for direct delivery here at this point, the other has to. It just ends up putting them at such a disadvantage if they don't. It looks like, though, Helm's is filling up a little bit quicker than Trelleborg's is, and they've got themselves a decent sized advantage here. It was a sort of a 1.8 to a 2.2 before we hit the split screen. And I don't know how much extra time that Trelleborg has beyond Helm, though, on the timer. In fact, it's completed for both of them and has evened out at a 2.1 to a 1.9. So that's actually not great for Trelleborg. It means they're going to be at a disadvantage in the grain game at this early stage.
Yeah, they're slightly behind with the normal grain collection as well, as we can see. So yeah, it probably will have some kind of an effect. So let's see how this plays out. We still have about 1 minute and 20 seconds till we have the second set of drops. The grain multiplier was yesterday coming, I would say, normally. So I would say that every other game we had the grain multiplier, or maybe every third game. The bale multiplier was actually very popular yesterday, but of course these are completely random, so we don't know. It was just pure luck because the JK headed towards the silo. We, by the way, do have the unstoppable versus the big haul. So Helm is going to be playing with the unstoppable, and Trelleborg playing with the big haul. So that's going to make some kind of a small difference to the grain strategy as well. And JK, do we have any kind of an early delivery? Nope, he's going to be just setting up the shop there and waiting to collect some more grain and more utilities around it.
There is about 4,000 litres, 4,500 more litres of grain there for Helm at the moment. So Trelleborg really needing the boost they're going to get from the big haul. I don't know if it'll be enough.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see. I mean, it's all about the grain where they're going to be stopping it, so I'm not really worried about the couple of thousands of liters of a difference, but it's all about when they will actually decide to stop it. Now we can see Hayden from the Trelleborg side coming with a big haul, and he's probably going to be unloading it as soon as they will see that there is no grain multiplier on the drop, so that's going to be the plan. And in just a couple of seconds away when we'll finally see the second wave of the drops, and let's see if we do have something interesting. So yeah, a bridge is lower than speed up, so no multipliers, no grain, bale, anything like that. So I would imagine that speed up maybe might be the one that they will pick up in the end, and we can also pretty much, I would expect that we'd see unloading that big haul in a matter of seconds as soon as Trelleborg will be just getting back to the sea.
That bridge is lowered, to be honest, though, it's for a very long period. That's like a minute and a half on it. That would allow you to quickly get quite a few bales back. And I'm kind of wondering if JK here, dropping bales on the field,
it's 2 minutes
he's looking
actually
to do that.
126 seconds, so that's a very long one.
My maths is really out today.
Yeah, if you wait all the way till the end and then you pick that up, so then they should be close till 2.5 minutes on the clock. And now I can see Helm starting to unload the grain. Trelleborg hasn't yet done a move, so this maybe opens a slide window for Helm to score some points. JK is going to go with the bridges lowered, and also same happens for Trelleborg as well. But JK is here, and they are actually getting 2.7 multiplier as we speak, and they do have a reasonably speeded belt as well. So this could be the moment when Helm could be actually trying to get some points out of the situation, as Trelleborg hasn't started the unloading, and they do have that 2.7 multiplier, so that I'm very eager to see what they will actually do about it. But Helm, yes, still on the lead, and I would like to see the JK actually put some of those bales on the belt, because that's definitely a moment where they can gain something.
That is what they need to be doing right now. He was there, he was dropping bales off. He could very easily have scored a couple of points. We don't seem to have it, and it's evened out at 2.0 again. So they haven't scored any points with it. They've not taken advantage. Looks like Martin's coming here with a Trelleborg toss.
Yeah,
no, it's a Helm hurdle.
Helm hurdle.
It's a Helm hurdle.
They do have 2.5 multiplier. He's going to go for it, and he will score all the 3 bales in. They will go all the way to 199, and as we can see, the crowd goes wild.
And just before they started emptying the big hall as well, look at the amount that indicator suddenly moves after those points were scored. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, let's see. Does Loiko want to do the same? He is kind of setting up the situation. I'm slightly, not really worried, but wondering about that one bale. He's going to be taking that speed, and he should be going. And there we go. We do have a lift-off, and Loiko on its way, trying to do the Trelleborg toss. We're going to be seeing the multiplier switch at the same time as Loiko will do the toss, and that's going to be 3 bales going all in. But they are further behind, but both teams are showing their capabilities with the telehandlers.
And you can see now the difference that disadvantage in the grain game for Trelleborg has made early on. It was at 1.8 to 2.1, 2.2. It's now switched.
Yeah.
Trelleborg have delivered more grain, and they've got themselves a 2.1 multiplier. Hayden is in trouble. He is off, and he is in the ditch.
Yeah, the baler is going to be stuck on the bridge as well. Let's see.
Baler is stuck.
Yeah, I want to see how this plays out, because of course this will have a huge impact. Trelleborg was already slightly behind the points, so not the greatest start. I mean, well, it's not the start, but not the greatest moment. Well, not the greatest start for the series. Let's put it like that. And we'll see what's going to happen there. Loiko is going to go with the toss as well, so he's trying to recover, and he has 3 bales. They're slightly widely spread there, but he will still manage to get all of them in. That's going to be another 63 points, so they are definitely catching up, and as we can see, the crowd, they do like this quite a bit.
And this is the thing. They've got that 2.1 multiplier. If they can keep getting stuff in, and Hayden got no opportunity there to connect up to that baler.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting on that bridge. It just keeps going up. And JK missing bales off the side there. There is a problem at the moment. Both teams seem to be making unforced errors.
Yeah, but the problem with the Baler is pretty huge because I mean it has the Bales inside of it. It's gonna be blocking that one breach, and if they kind of like wanted to do some more Bales because we still have like a 1 minute and 15 seconds, that's also not available for it. So I would say that it's a pretty big problem currently for Trelleborg tires, and I don't think that they can actually do anything about it. Helm's steady putting some Bales on the belt, but they gotta go there inside, so they will manage it. Helm is on the lead as we can see, 360 to 235, so they're leading with the 100 points. They do have also 4 Bales more. And the only thing that is not on the side of Helm is the multiplier, but they do have the Bales and they do have the gap. So currently it really much looks that if nothing special happens through the 45 seconds, Helm should be able to get the first game of the series.
That's the thing. Helm have so many advantages elsewhere. They got twice as many Bales as Trelleborg. They have they have 150 point advantage over Trelleborg. I don't see how Trelleborg, even with the multiplier advantage they have, can close that gap because they don't have the Bales to do it, they don't have the time to do it. There's only 17 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it's 200 points the gap. There's nothing that Trelleborg can do. I mean, even if they would score all the Bales they have and get double points, that's not going to be enough, unfortunately, anymore at this point. So, Helm will take the first game of the series quite easily. Loika's going to do that final toss. We'll close the gap a little bit, but that's not going to be enough. So, Helm will take the first game of the series, and they are just one win away from securing their place on the grand final.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant game from Trelleborg there. They got hold of the grain game early on. They got themselves nicely ahead. They ended up not having quite as much grain as their opponents, but I think I put that down to Big Hall. And you can see, no, in fact, there was just more grain for Trelleborg, interestingly. But yeah, 25 Bales delivered to 15.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You're going to lose every day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was the strategy. They probably had some Bales on the... only one undelivered Bale, though. So there wasn't that many Bales on that Baler. Or maybe they managed to get it somehow at the end. I don't know what happened there. But just saying that, for sure, it kind of like messed up the game for the final minutes of the match. And then they just didn't get the deliveries done. And the Bales pressed because the Baler was also stuck on the bridge. So yeah, for sure, it had a huge impact on the outcome of this game.
And we can see the crowd here at that record-breaking crowd here at FarmCon, enjoying the first of our 3 matches today.
I'm pretty sure that I saw those girls on the back row. They were showing like, Alex! So there's the virtual Farmer Fun Club. You're definitely in the audience.
I'm fairly sure they weren't calling for me.
Who knows? Anyways, yeah, we have a lovely crowd. That's going to be the case here. We're going to be starting the second game just in a matter of seconds. And as we can see, Helm is feeling pretty good. We can see that the players are enjoying as we speak. Let's see what Trelleborg is going to be thinking about it. Of course, the loser of this game will still be dropping on the lower bracket, so they're not out of the tournament. So they're still playing against the MyInsanity. So if Helm is going to win this one, Trelleborg needs to play MyInsanity on the lower bracket, and then they're going to settle who's going to be going on the grand final on that series of matches. Let's see what's going to happen with the telehandlers this time. John Deere is the same, which we saw from Helm. So it's all about Trelleborg. Yeah, they will do the same. They will allow at least the other telehandler in the play.
I think the choice here with Trelleborg is not so much changing up this side of things, although they're not banning the New Holland telehandler this time. But it's really going for a slightly different strategy in game. They've got to find some other way of disrupting Helm, and yeah, the banning stage is not the place that they're able to do it.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, but I really like that we have the telehandlers, and we know that Helm is never the one who's actually banning them. It's always the opponents of them, and it's all about the opponents who are not comfortable with the telehandlers. But as we can see, Trelleborg is not one of those. We saw the tosses coming from them at least 3 times on the previous game, so Trelleborg is definitely happy to play with the telehandlers, and we saw the toss yesterday, which actually got them the win, the final 1-bale toss. And so we know that Trelleborg is not afraid to play with the telehandlers. The different question is, will MyInsanity allow the telehandlers to be on the play?
And we've got the Case Magnum and the Fendt 942. So 2 big tractors being selected.
Yeah, and we do have bottleneck versus bottleneck, so those are the perks that we're going to play against, which means that if we go for the 3rd game of the series, then we will have the Unstoppable versus Big Hole, but just the vice versa from the last game. Unless, of course, somebody wants to play with the herbicide. You never know. I mean, Helm is sometimes doing these tricks. And,
yeah. it's not a bad choice actually to mix things up at that point.
Yeah, well, let's see how it's going to go. Will we have the third game of the series, or will Helm actually sweep the floor out of Trelleborg tires? That's the other question. But there we go. We're going to be heading towards the pass because Martin and Loiko, they are actually heading straight towards the same combine. Loiko's going to run for it, and he's going to get that down as well. So there we had it. Trelleborg's going to win that battle because the JK coming for the Baylor at the same time. And let's see how the first Bales are starting to build up. Helm is very focused, as we can see. They are watching their monitors. They are trying to find that every single piece of a performance that they can get. And of course, to be getting the first bell, JK seems to be slightly, well, not stuck, but just very slowly moving. But he's of course waiting somebody to come with the Baylor. But Loiko and Hayden are already on the fields. So they are pressing the first bale here. And Hayden actually already has it. So he's going to be heading towards the barn.
Yeah, this is a strong start from Trelleborg coming into this second game. Both teams, as you said, have bottlenecks, so they've both got to go round. They've either got to go the safer route or they have to go over this bridge here. Hayden's heading over that, and he's going to be a fairly strong first bale, not spectacular, but he is well ahead of Helm. And slowly in for a 129.
Yeah, that's going to be, well, they're going to take the lead at least, but of course not the greatest first bale, but taking the circumstances, JK is still here. They're actually meeting on the bridge. Of course, you know, not in real life, but I kind of like the idea, give me 5 on the way as they will pass the bridge, and JK 112. So they're going to be 17 points behind. It's not the end of the world.
No, it still gives them just a single bale, a single extra bale being delivered.
Yeah.
And they have a chance to do that now. You know, there's a bale drop there. So if they were to grab that Helm, they would they would immediately even things out.
Okay, we'll see if they're going to go for it. That's the first wave of the drops. Martin going to be getting back on the field. Going to be just starting to grind the grain. And meanwhile, as we follow what's happening on the grain game, it's the same as what we can expect. Trelleborg slightly actually leading because they got the first bell done faster, so they are back in the business. And yeah, we'll see how this is going to play out. I mean, of course, Trelleborg now everything's going to be aligning them for well, but yeah, we know how strong opponent Helm can be, and of course, there's no room for any kind of mistakes.
No, not at all. They're even a couple of seconds tends to be pounced on because it's just enough time to get that extra bale back. Things going fairly smoothly though for Trelleborg right now. They've managed to empty both of their combines. Hayden will go and park that up. Oh no, looks like Hayden's actually just going to go and take it to the sell point and maybe drop it off. I'm not sure if he's actually going to go and sell it now or deliver it now.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we saw the same happening on the last game as well when JK was also driving the trailer to the silo, and then he just parked it there. And I don't think he's going to change the strategy right now. I mean, who knows? I mean, I might be completely wrong, but yeah, he's going to leave it there. I mean, I would understand that if they would play with the big haul, for example, then they have a different strategy with the grain. But I think when it comes down with the bottleneck and with the unstoppable, I kind of feel that the strategy, when it comes down how they will do the grain deliveries, are usually the same. Because they have the same equipment on their disposal. But that's just me. We'll see. 45 seconds anyways, then we'll see what's going to be coming out of the drops. And do we have maybe some kind of a multiplier that's going to be changing the game or blowing up the mind of Alex? We're going to be seeing that in a matter of seconds.
That's a good question. Tack coming around and avoiding more of the weeds as he does so. A big pile of weeds in the next section. Field, so he is going to try and avoid those. Meanwhile, Hayden's coming in, and we got our drop point there for the 5.5 minute drop.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what's going to be coming out of that one for sure. I mean, they want to wait if there's a multiplier there. I'm not risking to do the delivery. Yesterday, though, we had a couple of situations when people had actually, speed limit and crazy tool. Okay, no crane multiplier. Nice. But yesterday we had a couple of couple times the situation that there actually was a grain multiplier popping and the other team had done a grain delivery.
Oh no.
But in the end, they actually did recover from it because they immediately started to collect more and then they managed to deliver a fair amount with the multiplier as well. And that was evening out the other team who just had the one large delivery with the multiplier.
And that's the thing, it's adapting at that point, and sometimes those just, you need to drop early to try and get your opponents to do something wrong, and it doesn't pay off.
Yep. Well, speed limit is going to be picked by both of the teams. And we can see JK heading towards the barn. I mean, he did the same. I don't think we're going to be expecting any kind of an early delivery. It's the 2.1 multiplier for Trelleborg tires at this point. And yeah, they're just going to be lining the bales right next to the belt. So that's completely normal. And meanwhile, Loiko just, well, not just chilling, of course, but he's moving the telehandler a little bit. So moving quite easily on the landscape.
And Heidenbrink no, that is chilling. Martin is chilling in his telehandler on the side. You can see him just moving the mouse back and forth, trying to get it to turn onto its wheels. And he's finally got it over.
Yeah, and we can see that the audience, they are applauding. So yeah, you can get applauses from the mistakes as well when you show this great recovery skills with the telehandler. So he's going to be solving that out. Let's see how much of a difference that's going to make. Meanwhile, Martin, he's going to be heading back to the fields. He's going to be collecting some of the bales because Loiko, he seems to be getting ready for the toss, to be honest. And there we go. So Loiko's going to be getting that speed, going to be lifting the handler. And there we had it. And that should be okay.
Yes.
It's going to be all 3 bales in. That's going to be
in.
60 points for them. So the multiplier was exactly 2.0. So the Trelleborg claiming some points.
Ooh,
Martin maybe has the same idea. Yeah, but it is a slightly wide, but at least the bales are all heading towards the front, which is kind of a good signal because sometimes we have seen that the one bale is slightly sideways and that is in a way causing more problems. So let's see how this goes, and all the 3 bales are going to go in. That's going to be 60 points for Helm as well. I would imagine that if Martin wouldn't have had that problem with the telehandler, they would have done that toss before Trelleborg originally.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting thing to me is how far out Trelleborg have pulled at this point. They are well ahead score-wise. I don't know if they have extra bales. They have extra bales to Helm, so there is the space there to catch up. In fact, there are a lot more extra bales for Helm. So Helm are actually at an advantage at the moment, despite what the scoreline says.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, also all the grain has been delivered, so they will end up with the 2.0 multipliers, as we can see. Loiko, maybe another toss is coming. We'll see. No, he's going to be heading slightly with a different route. Oh, this is a nice picture, actually. I like that view. So Loiko will be just aligning these bales on the belt, doesn't go for the toss. And actually going to be dropping 2 of them. I don't know what's the case there. But yeah, not going to be much of a problem. So he has the time. They have the even amount of bales. So yeah, Trelleborg is kind of in the lead, but you never know what's going to happen with the final 2 minutes with Helm.
And Martin's coming in for... No, he's not. He is just going to place them on the side. And place them onto the belt. He looked like he was initially lining up for a Helm hurl, but wasn't to be. And instead, he seemed to decided to just get those bales on the belt and get them scored. Yeah,
this is interesting. I mean, it seems that both teams are doing exactly the same things. I mean, even with the movement with the telehandlers, they are both going for the belt, but just Helm is, let's say, 15, 20 seconds behind all the time. And that's probably because of the first bale and then the problem which Martin was having at the pad. So, yeah, I'm super excited to see how this is going to play out because we are starting the final minute. We know how efficient both of the teams can be. So this will be a very close one, I would say, in the end. And let's see how Helm is going to play this one. Can they actually still close that gap? Because Trelleborg for sure will do everything in their power to keep that even the smallest lead. I mean, 1 point is going to be enough to win the round, and they need to win it because otherwise they will drop to the lower bracket. So 45 seconds to go.
It's close.
Yeah, it's going to be 17 points of a difference. It's going to be 2.0 multiplier for both of the teams. Helm is actually having 3 bales on the belt. That's going to be 60 points. We can see from the X-ray that Trelleborg is going to be doing that work as well. They will have another 6 bales on the belt coming up as well. For final 30 seconds are starting, as Martin will put another 3 bales on the belt. We can see Trelleborg, they're doing exactly the same things at the same time. It is so exciting to see how this is going to end up, because it's going to be all about the timings, and also both teams do have the same amount of bales still available. So we'll see what's going to happen. We can see that there's still one final delivery coming towards the barn. The final bales for Helm are on that truck, and with that bale on the belt, it's going to be Trelleborg taking the lead. 4 seconds to go. They're going to be trying to do something. It's going to be too much for him. Martin, can you make it? No, he doesn't have the time, and it will be Helm,
yes,
actually getting the point somehow in the end. So that
Helm
will be...
were slightly ahead at the end. It wasn't, but it's like 3 points in it. It's 5:32 to 5:29.
Oh, that is so close. I mean, I was really wondering if this is going to be all about the one final bale which Martin was still having on the fork of the telehandler. But yeah, it will be Helm taking 2-0 sweep, dropping down Trelleborg all the way to the lower bracket, and Helm has secured their place on the grand final. And they will also have the advantage on the best of 5 final, so they will have that one default win at the start of the series. But
they have made things easier for themselves with that. Now, if Trelleborg is going to face them again in the final, not only do they have to beat MyInsanity, but they have to have played 3 games in a row today, or 3 matches in a row. So that does make things harder.
It will.
For Trelleborg.
And now we can see on the stage, yes, we do have, of course, Helm. Well, of course, shaking hands of the opponents. I mean, they haven't yet won it, and nobody has lost the tournament yet even. But yes, they still want to tank from the great series. And we can see MyInsanity actually starting to line up their stuff on the desk as well. And also we saw that the Trelleborg actually will move to the spots of Helm at the same time on the stage. I guess that's a pretty fair thing, that they need to change the place at some point. And yeah. So we should be, probably will be having a short break in a matter of seconds before the next game. We will have some time for the teams to set up their stuff, but it's going to be the same, I guess, like 3 minutes, which we had yesterday as well. So,
yeah, we will see you shortly. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our second semi-final today of the grand final of the Farming Simulator League's 5th season. We have just had an amazing match between Helm and Trelleborg that's seen Trelleborg go down into the lower bracket, and that puts them in a very interesting position, I think.
Yeah, I mean, let me think about this. So we do have a semi-final of the grand final, and the winner of this will claim a spot on the grand final.
Yeah.
There we had it.
Final of the grand final.
But this will be very interesting. We saw Trelleborg to play versus Helm just a couple of minutes ago. Of course, we saw that they actually made a mistake on the first game. They had a very good series on the second one, lost it by a couple of points to Helm. And now they're going to be facing MyInsanity. MyInsanity hasn't been playing today at all, but before we go there, we're going to be having a look on the replays and maybe we'll understand better what actually happened with that Baler.
And yeah, we've got, who was that who failed to grab that? So that was Martin, but we were following lower kills, so that happened in the first game. Just was unable to get that. So many Helm hurls and Trelleborg tosses in this match. Went really well, and then this is when it went all wrong for Hayden in that first game.
Yeah.
Just got stuck on that bridge. 3 Bales sitting in the back of that Massey Ferguson Baler, and they were just stuck there for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And
it's going to recover it here. Because, I mean, they only had one undelivered Bale on that game.
So when he... I did manage to eventually... Yeah, they had one undelivered. And then we had this in the second game this was, wasn't it, I think? Where it took a while for them to get back on their wheels, but they did.
But it was a mistake from Helm.
It was.
So we saw mistakes for them as well, but they still managed to win it. So that was the game between the Helm and the Trelleborg tires, and now as we can see on the pictures on the stage, we do have MyInsanity, and of course going to be getting a video out of these guys as well, so we'll see where these guys are coming from. They played a fantastic day yesterday. They lost actually to Trelleborg. They're playing now versus the team, which is the only team they lost yesterday, and then they dropped 3 teams in a row from the lower bracket. So we're going to be seeing what these guys are all about.
Here we go.
MyInsanity have sown the seeds of victory, bringing in their experience as a seasoned esports team. They ascended to the pinnacle at Agritechnica. They harvested victory, claiming the first place position like golden wheat swaying in the breeze. Now, at FarmCon, they stand poised on the brink of destiny. They know they can beat everyone. They are rockers. They are rollers. They are out of controllers. And they are ready to face them all.
There we go.
I love this.
Brilliant.
Only thing what I'm waiting with these new videos is that because he sounds exactly like Optimus Prime, you know. So I'm just waiting. They are trying to find the Allspark. If you have seen the series, then you know what it's all about. But yeah, so that's the setup which we have. So MyInsanity versus Trelleborg tires, and as said a couple times already before. So yes, these were actually playing yesterday, and Trelleborg dropped the MyInsanity to the lower bracket, so they're gonna have a rematch from yesterday. And of course, I mean, the loser's gonna be, well, claiming that third place, gonna be, of course, not getting a place on the grand final, and then the winning team will be facing Helm in the best of 5 grand final. But the team coming from the losing bracket doesn't have the 1 auto win default, so they will actually need to win 3 matches out of those, basically. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, it's a much tougher prospect winning the final coming from this lower bracket.
It is. So we'll see how that's gonna go. As we can see that the players are getting ready. They are waiting for the server to start, and probably we're gonna be getting on the game at some point as well. Yeah, the calculator is there, and we saw that yesterday, and that's actually something that I really want to see. Yesterday we saw that he was actually driving with his other hand, and then he was calculating something with the other hand. So he's definitely doing something with the calculator, and I'm pretty sure that he's not calculating the fuel usage of the tractor.
No, I think it's very much can we get away with only delivering this much grain kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. It's got to be for sure. Anyway, so let's see what's going to happen with the telehandlers. That's the question. What MyInsanity will decide to do. I mean, Trelleborg is a team which can use the telehandlers pretty well, and we do have Trelleborg going with the same band. So I guess the first band from MyInsanity is going to be telling the story: do we have the telehandlers or not? And it's going to take a while. Yep.
Oh, we do.
We do have it. John Deere 8R. Do we have the class Lexion?
MyInsanity basically
we
getting
do
to
have
do
it.
Helm's.
Yeah.
They're basically doing Helm's strategy.
Yeah, but we saw this yesterday quite often, that the John Deere 8R and class Lexion, they went in pairs for multiple different teams. And if you remember, Alex, that the previous tournament we casted like a month ago or something like that, it actually, this whole class Lexion started there already.
Oh yeah,
So,
it is. Banning the class Lexion costs you points, but it's really worth it.
yeah.
Because it just takes such a big piece of danger out early on and makes it harder for a team to dominate you. If you are able to score points with the other harvesters really easily, then taking that class Lexion makes sense.
Yeah. Well, there we had it. And yeah, we had the ban for the other telehandler, so it was the Trelleborg doing the same, which they did versus the Helm on the first game as well. So I don't know, maybe that's somehow written on their playbook that we'll do it this way. It doesn't matter. Whatever's going to happen after maximum of 3 matches, we will know which other team will be getting on the grand final. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. But there we go. We're going to be loading into the game. 10 minutes once again. Soon the players are going to be heading out of the gates and just starting the paddle of the pads or pods. We actually had a discussion with the pad or pod, and Terminator said that both are fine, at least for him. So we'll go with whatever. So there we can see John heading towards the pad. We have a bit of a challenge here between Trelleborg and MyInsanity, and they are battling from the Baler, I think. No, actually Jan is going to be understanding. And this was a thing yesterday as well. They didn't want to have the challenges because they understand how much time it's going to cost. So they will just go for the other one.
And I think sitting on stage, they get more of an inkling as to whether they're going for the same piece of equipment as an opponent is.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to be seeing that, how they realize that they're actually going for the same. Do they have the coaches there, or what's going to be the case? Yeah, this is very close, and MyInsanity slightly leading, but exactly the same path. As we can see, they are following almost like having a queue of their own. And usually the queues are building up on the highways, on the streets, but this time they're going to be building up on the farming fields. And we can see John already heading out of the behind the combine. He's going to be the first player that's going to be crossing the bridge, and we'll see what kind of a toss. Do we have the right hand toss actually coming? It seems to be the case, so he's going to toss from the right hand side, and he's going to be closing. It's going to be 37 maybe if he's going to get that toss in. He's going to reverse that in. And what's going to happen with the Trelleborg? They're going to be both. Oh, what is going on here? They're both going to reverse the 132, and then we can see MyInsanity actually getting a slightly lower amount, but it's not yet in. You need to get that in. It's going to be 124, but it's going to be still very close. Only 8 points of a difference. Yeah,
is not that big a difference. That will that is easily able to close up between the two. First drops a silo close and bridges raised. Neither of those are particularly strong power-ups or drops at this point. It won't really cause a problem with either.
Yeah, this will be, well, I mean, of course we are expecting to have close matches, and like I said before the first game even today, that I don't really know which 3 teams will be on the grand final. So now we know that Helm is going to be there, of course everybody's expecting, but still Trelleborg had a very decent chance of beating them as well. So we'll see who's going to be the second team. Will it be Trelleborg, will it be MyInsanity, and of course what kind of challenge they can actually then bring to Helm, because Helm has now shown that, okay, they can beat Trelleborg tires here, at least on the best of 3. So, but they haven't played against the MyInsanity, and MyInsanity has won one of the tournaments this season.
We can see local emptying into their big hall, and I was about to say, oh, it looks like MyInsanity are a little bit behind, but they're on the second row on there, so I'm not really that sure. And it's only 2,000 litres between them in the grain, so not a massive difference. Yeah, they're keeping this quite close, these teams.
Yeah, it's close, definitely. Yeah, we'll never know what. We will know eventually, not never, but eventually we don't know for the time being. how they will play the grain, because I mean, yeah, the big holes on the both sides, and we have seen on the past that if you want to beat the big hole, I mean, without the big hole, you need to collect, I don't know, 70-something thousand liters usually. It's all about maybe the calculator on the side of the Trelleborg tires will make the difference, because it's all about understanding, in a way, betting how much grain you need to collect and how much you need to deliver, and then we'll see what's going to happen with the multipliers. Of course, how you want to divide this time with the other tasks that you need to do as well.
Did see an interesting comment in the Twitch chat earlier about the way the fields get harvested, and you would have thought that going straight up and down the fields would have been the most efficient way to get these fields cut. However, the reason why the teams are wiggling around like snakes in the field is because they're trying to avoid the weeds. The weeds impact how much grain you get, how fast your combine goes. Basically, you go through the patches of weed in the field and it causes you problems. So the best way to do it is actually the way that is a little bit less realistic, and just go round the field and try and get avoid as many weeds as possible. Plus, they're trying to make themselves paths. So you saw at the top end of the field just then, there was a path where they cut themselves in, and as a result, they were trying to make it easier to go and deliver grain later, and get that done that way.
And the weed it's random, right? How the weed is actually forming on the field.
The weeds,
random.
yeah, there's a certain amount of weeds in the fields, but they get randomly placed.
And it's the same placement for both of the teams.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the two fields are mirror images of each other.
Yeah, just making sure. There we had it. So thank you for the explanation, Alex. So 3 minutes to go. We did have the drops coming in as well, but nobody has been picking anything. I didn't see what they were actually. Maybe nothing that important, because nobody has been going for them. So nobody has been even delivering any of the grain. The drops are there, as we can see. And we do have, I think there was a speed limit maybe, and something else. I didn't get that good of a look. But yeah, we're going to figure that out a little bit later, what the drops are.
That's
and somebody's going to be picking up something,
there.
so we can see Talk going for the Trelleborg to do the grain delivery. Bale multiplier, that's something that they might want to have. Belt's going to be stopped at the Bale multiplier is going to be picked up both of the teams at the same time as well. So with the Bale multiplier and maybe timing your grain delivery the right way, you could maybe cause some kind of a difference here for the status quo.
And Loku is on his side.
Again. I mean, he wasn't in the last game, but I mean the same location and a telehandler.
That tends to happen when they charge into the back of combine harvesters early on when they're trying to grab them.
Yeah, but he was faster to actually get away, so that was only took like a couple of seconds of time, so not the greatest problem for now, because the PB already starting to stack. We have a less than 4 minutes time remaining. We have the Bale multiplier and 2.5 on the MyInsanity side, so if they're going to be scoring these Bales with that multiplier and Bale multiplier, but nope, because the Trelleborg actually unloading, and 2.1 will be the final multiplier for Trelleborg, but at least MyInsanity will be scoring 29 points per Bale, as they have the Bale multiplier still there. And so kind of like Trelleborg won the grain game here, and now they just need to score some points with that Bale multiplier. They do have actually 1.6 when MyInsanity has 1.5.
And looks like we got Loco coming in for a Trelleborg toss here, lining himself up, and in it goes for 34 points of Bale.
Yeah, that's, what is that, like a 102 points in total from the 3 Bales, so that is a huge amount of points.
That's a massive amount of points from that.
That's very well done.
And that's scoring points right at the last moments of that. Multiplier switch is not really useful for either team. They need to concentrate on scoring points from these Bales now.
I don't know what Loiko is doing here. I mean, we saw him actually hanging on the belt for a while. There was no Bale at the moment, so maybe he was still trying to shove something in. Or
I think he scored a late Bale with the Bale multiplier.
Yeah, it could be a thing, definitely. So yeah, MyInsanity is still in the lead though, so they're leading with about 40 points, and the Trelleborg is playing catch-up. They have a 2.1 multiplier, so MyInsanity, I think they utilized the Bale multiplier better, because they were putting, I think, like 6 Bales on the belt belt or something, and they scored at least 6 bales with the bale multiplier. Trelleborg, I think they got like 4 or something like that. So that's maybe explaining the difference here on the points. And I think the bale counts are pretty much even. What I haven't seen yet, how are the MyInsanity's bales currently placed on the map? Are they next to the barn, or are they actually still on the field?
We've got a bridge coming down for Loiku, who nicely lined up.
Yeah,
this is needed for Trelleborg. These points will take them into the lead as he heads up to the end of there, and it's another 63 points, putting them into the lead.
Yeah, I really like when the audience is actually liking this.
Yeah.
It almost feels like these guys are doing circus tricks for the audience, more or less. So maybe we'll just give some bread to them as well.
FSL live from an event is always amazing.
Yeah, these are great. So the score situation, so Trelleborg is scoring some more, but MyInsanity hasn't been, of course, resting on their heels. They have made it to 355 points at the same time as well, so they're still keeping the lead. Both teams are scoring. Trelleborg is catching up a little bit, and now we can see how the bales are actually lighting. I think both teams, they have a pretty similar setup, so when it comes down to the time to put them on the belt, they should be quite much even. Hayden will not be tossing those in. At least I don't know that kind of a toss that you can actually put that from the balers right away. like a crash hit. And Loiko having a problem here. Oh, he's going to be getting the telehandler stuck on the ground. And we saw this happening yesterday as well. But he's going to be getting out of it. So that's going to cost some time in seconds. PB not doing that kind of a mistake, at least not for now. There's going to be 2 bales. It was JK yesterday. Yeah. So many bales available for both of the teams actually, and 35 seconds remaining. So they need to be hurrying up with the stacking.
I think Trelleborg are actually in trouble here. They've not got a huge amount of bales. Well, no, they have actually. They've got a huge amount of bales on the floor, and they cannot score them all in time, surely.
Yeah, 20 seconds to go. MyInsanity is leading almost by 100 points. Of course, Trelleborg is catching up. They have more bales, though. So they have the bales. Let's see how the delivery is going to go. We have 10 seconds to go, and MyInsanity is still leading with 80 points. There's going to be some late deliveries, 537, but 594. But MyInsanity, I think they will get it. There's going to be a toss from Loiko. That one is going to miss one, and it will be MyInsanity. One of the bales out of 3 is not going to go in. No. And that's going to give at least those final points, but I'm not sure was the gap more than 20 or less.
I don't think it was. I think it was 537, 594. No, it was way more. No, it was over 600 points.
Yeah, 613, I think, was MyInsanity. We're going to be seeing that, of course, in a matter of seconds, I hope.
Yeah.
But a great shot from MyInsanity. Yeah, there we had it. So, yeah, it wouldn't have been enough even if that one bale would have gone in. But a great effort from Trelleborg.
It wouldn't have been much, though. At a 2.1, that would have been 6. That would have been 609.
Yeah, I know. It would have been close, but it wouldn't have been enough.
It wouldn't have been enough to win it. But, oh, my God, it would have been... It would have been within 5 points.
Yeah, it would have been close, but close is not the same as cigar.
Very true.
We know that. You can ask from DJ. He knows pretty well that. So yeah, MyInsanity will win the first game of this best of 3 series. So Trelleborg, they are now having their backs against the wall. They lost 2 matches to Helm. They lost 1 match to MyInsanity. And if they want to keep their heads back in this tournament, they need to start winning.
Absolutely. Trelleborg look a little bit defeated. I think they know they've got a really hard route for the final. You know, they've already played a game today. MyInsanity are coming fresh here. If Trelleborg was to win, if they were able to come back and take 2 more games, then they've got to. They now have the hardest route they could have, because they've got to play the maximum number of games to get back into the final.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, I really like how MyInsanity has played. I mean, yesterday and then today as well. They kind of got their sweet revenge on Trelleborg, at least by winning 1 game for now. So, I mean, of course, it's way too early to tell, but I'm very eager to see how this is going to go. And, of course, MyInsanity, I mean, based on what we see here now, for the time being, they seem to be the stronger team, at least by winning Trelleborg, so maybe they will give some good fight on the grand final to Helm as well. But okay, that's going to be way too much forward thinking for the moment.
And MyInsanity lost to Trelleborg yesterday, didn't they? So Trelleborg were the team that's put them into this lower bracket and actually made MyInsanity fight really hard to get to the final. So MyInsanity had a lot of games yesterday, and that is going to have stood them in fairly good stead, especially being fresh coming into this game today. They've banned that combine. It's put them at a 1 point disadvantage. I don't think that has been a huge problem for them. And they've managed to get unstoppable against the big haul.
Yeah.
Which lots of teams don't like doing these days. This could be quite an interesting game. This is the point where, being a game up, you kind of want to play that. And they had big haul last time, didn't they, MyInsanity? So
Yeah.
and they played against Trelleborg with bottleneck. So they've played this really well, MyInsanity. They've got themselves in good positions at the start of that first game. They played well throughout the whole thing, and they've come back now, and we're going to see if they do. They're able to take this second game and see themselves through to the final. There are no combines on the left-hand side, so we're not going to have a particularly far... Oh, no, there is. There's a New Holland right up on the left-hand side. Looks like PB400, though, is going for the John Deere. He seems to be the only one going for the John Deere.
Yeah. I mean, the teams, they have been kind of trying to avoid this, as we have noticed. So I don't know how they do it, but they have been definitely avoiding the battles because they understand the fact that, that's going to cost a lot of time if they actually go for a one and lose the battle.
Yeah.
So we can hide and go in behind the Loiko. That's actually a very nice location for Trelleborg. That's exactly the sweet spot where you can get those very good first Bales, and now we can see Jan also coming on the same area. MyInsanity is slightly behind on the timings, but still I wouldn't say that they have a noticeable difference. Well, it's a noticeable, but not a huge one. We can see Hayden now crossing the bridge, and I mean this could be a huge first Bale. If that's going to go in with a swing, and that's going to be like a 147. 148. So that's going to be a great first Bale. So that's a great start for Trelleborg. Of course, this is exactly what they need. We can see John coming up, and he's not going to toss that. He's going to reverse that in. So that should be like a 134-ish maybe. Yeah, 134. So it's not that far away. 14 points away. It's still doable, and but of course 14 points is the difference.
And we got Hayden now coming in for more Bales. I'm guessing he's just basically filling that baler up, ready to immediately take it. Yeah, they don't have big haul, so he is going to have to go and empty the combine, and he's following round behind it now as it goes and frees things up. We've got Bridges Race and Crazy Tool, neither of which are useful to anybody right now.
Yeah, I don't think they will go for it. I mean, the Crazy Tool is, as mentioned, it's so hard to use, and you kind of like need to be bailing when you do it, and this is not the moment when teams are bailing. So it doesn't make much of a sense to actually go for the Crazy Tool for the time being. Let's see how this will go otherwise. So we can see, as we can see, these guys are pretty much on the same location on the map as well. MyInsanity actually slightly further, and they actually make it. Well, no, they will not make the difference. They will go for the same direction as well. So there was a slight moment when they were kind of like wondering that maybe we'll go to the left instead of the right, but didn't happen.
Some teams have no problem driving through that bit of crop, and others just like to go around it to make sure their tractor keeps going at reasonable speed. As we saw then, it actually makes no difference.
Yeah. So here we are on the fields, and everything is pretty even, as we can see, with the grain collection, not that many points. So I guess when we'll see what actually will happen with the grain, then we will see maybe some kind of a differences starting to build here, and we'll see who kind of like has the upper hand when we come to the final minutes of the game. And of course, it's all about the drops as well. And does somebody have the courage to do, for example, an early grain delivery instead of just waiting for it? Because now when we do have the unstoppable versus bottleneck, I think it's very possible that it can actually happen. Jan is having a slight issue there. I don't know what, he was maybe sleeping on the wheel. Let's see if Trelleborg actually goes for the delivery, but no, he's just going to park it. What's going to be the plan for MyInsanity? They will just do it exactly the same. So this is a rinse and repeat strategy, I would say.
I was going to say, midway through the season, there was this big strategy that people had of emptying out at this stage, going out, refilling it, and then filling the combines again. And we're not seeing that this weekend at all.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some early deliveries yesterday happening, but it was more about Lindner, just the track, the Power Team Esports. I don't think we saw Trelleborg or MyInsanity actually doing it at all.
No.
So it was a couple other teams who were actually having that strategy. And but here we are now. So we are coming down to 6 minutes. So we have only 30 seconds when we'll see the next drops, and some kind of difference is going to be building at some point for sure. 2.0 multiplier for both of the teams because nobody has been doing any kind of deliveries. And of course they are now holding the grain, and of course they want to see if there's going to be some kind of a multiplier. We do have a slight difference on the points, so when it comes down to the grain multiplier, for example, if that would be happening, we might have like 1.5, 1.6 for example, so either of the teams might have a slight advantage there, and the drops are right there, as we can see. Bale drop and the direct delivery, so nothing that disruptive, to be honest.
And they're going to be there for another 45 seconds. Yeah, I think the teams might go for Bale drop. Adding, getting a free Bale makes sense.
And there we had it. The deliveries are starting, so MyInsanity will start unloading. 2.7 multiple. They do have some Bales ready as well, so if they could do, if they have the chance of doing a delivery at the same time, it could be actually working out. We can see Hayden just like a circling here, pressing some Bales, of course, but he's going to go for the Bale drop. No, he's going to go for the bridge. He's just not.
Why would you not just grab it as you went past?
I don't know. Maybe he just like plays hard to get. Or something like that. Who knows? Anyways, Hayden's going to be just reversing these Bales here. Jan is going to be coming to the scene as well. There's no deliveries whatsoever happening for the time being. And yeah, the multipliers have been evened out as well. 2.1 for Trelleborg, 1.9 for MyInsanity, but both teams are still having the grain. As we can see, they're making some small adjustments to the setup, and the grain will start flowing back to the silo, and then we'll see what's going to be the final multiplier as this everything has been done. Loiko once again having his moments with the telehandler. And this is coming a team.
This is worse now.
Whoa,
this is
that's almost like a crab walking in the bottom of the ocean, more or less, weirdly sideways. But he's going to be somehow recovering that, and yeah, he can just continue. But every single game today so far, except for the second game on the Helm versus Trelleborg, somebody has been having some issues with the telehandler.
And here comes PB with the New Holland telehandler. He's going to go for a, what would it be for MyInsanity? He's not going for it, so we can't.
No. I mean, we were wondering yesterday, because I don't think that we have the name for the MyInsanity Troll, whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they would have done it yesterday, we would have the name for it as well. So yeah, we can see some normal scores are coming in. So MyInsanity and actually Trelleborg didn't do anything, but MyInsanity did score a couple of Bales, so they got 3 Bales in now. Yeah. Now we can see Loiko actually going for the throw or the toss. So the Trelleborg toss is coming up, and probably it's going to go in. It looks good, but just one out of 3 is going to go in. And meanwhile, we can see super drops. It's going to be Lord Baylor picked by MyInsanity at the same time as well. And when it comes down to the Bale game, we have 7 Bales. The final multipliers are, by the way, and it's going to be 2.0 versus 2.0. And we have the final 3 minutes ongoing already as we speak. Hayden just moving these Bales right next to the belt. So he'll be happy to park them there. And of course, somebody will be coming to stack them a little bit later. And we'll see what is happening on the MyInsanity side of things. But the MyInsanity is actually leading by 70 points.
Oh, it's in. Two out of 3 Bales there.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 are actually in. PB is going to be now getting with his 3 Bales as well. And let's see what else is going to happen here. But yeah, we can see that PB is going to be stacking these Bales on the belt. That's going to be completely fine. We can see on the X-ray that there's going to be the Trelleborg ones as well. Hanne is going to be approaching towards the safer route. And yeah, this is going to be getting a bit of attention. Yes, 14 Bales and 16 Bales on Trelleborg and MyInsanity. So that's a lot of Bales what we still have here. And if they would score all the Bales on the second floor, then for sure I would say that MyInsanity would be still winning, but it's going to be so hard to tell because we have so high amount of Bales remaining.
And yeah, Trelleborg still trailing by 36 points here. They do have the Bales though. They can make this difference up, but they've only got a minute or so to do it. And MyInsanity are very good here at keeping the distance going, keeping those Bales scoring.
Yeah, they had the constant flow of the Bales, so they have been able to keep the gap all the way towards them. Now we can see Trelleborg's going to be catching up a little bit because they have more Bales on the belt. So we'll see how close this is going to go. We have the final 40 seconds to go. Of course, MyInsanity having already one victory under their belts. That's going to mean that Trelleborg, if they're going to lose this one, they're going to be dropping out of the tournament, claiming the third place. So of course they will try to fight as hard as they can. And the Bales are flowing in. MyInsanity is still leading. The final half minute is going on as we are reaching already almost 500 points on the side of MyInsanity.
They have that unstoppable belt. Their belt is going faster. They can score points faster.
And they have been pressing more Bales as well. They have 4. So I think that this is going to be a very close one. MyInsanity seems to be having the lead. It's going to be final 10 seconds to go. 544 for MyInsanity. Trelleborg will try to reach the final Bales. It is going to be just a couple of seconds. MyInsanity has done it. And they have taken the place in the grand final. They have dropped down Trelleborg. And Trelleborg will have to settle down on the third place.
Yeah, Trelleborg are out of the FSL final. The grand final is going to be between MyInsanity and Helm. And that could go either way. MyInsanity have beat Helm before. They are a fantastic team, and we've seen them playing using Helm's own strategies, which will make it harder for Helm. So yeah, this is going to be a cracking final.
Yeah, so we have the final teams. We know now that it will be Helm versus MyInsanity. And MyInsanity got their revenge. I mean, Trelleborg did drop them down yesterday to the lower bracket, and now it's going to be MyInsanity's time to drop Trelleborg from the tournament. So they will have their sweet revenge. And yeah, the final teams, as we said, Helm versus MyInsanity. And yeah, that will be exciting. Best of 5.
What a moment for Mr. Ting to come in with his raid. Thank you, Mr. Ting. Welcome all the raiders who are coming on Twitch.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've come in just in time for the FSL Grand Final. It is Helm versus MyInsanity that we're going to be seeing. I think we got I think we got a thing that's happening first. But first, we're going to take a 3-minute break. We are going to come back with the final. It's going to be an incredible final. And yeah.
Yep. I mean, the final is going to be definitely great. And yeah, we'll have that short break. We get some energy with Alex meanwhile, and then we're going to be fresh. And you will have the grand final you have been waiting for. So see you guys soon.
welcome back. It has all come down to this. The grand final of the Farming Simulator League Season 5 is about to take place. And we now know it's Helm versus MyInsanity.
Yeah, I actually had a discussion yesterday. I think I spoke with Terminator, and Terminator said that, yeah, he was betting on MyInsanity, if I remember. So he kind of had it right, but very excited.
They've worked really hard, actually, MyInsanity, to get themselves to this point. There was a time sort of 3 seasons ago where they weren't really making out the early rounds. And they were, they were languishing at the bottom of the table or only really making up to the mid-table. This season, they've really stepped up and really shown what they're made of. They took a tournament. They take Llama, I think. So they've had a tournament. They've had a tournament win this season. They have just been playing really, really well. And as we saw in the tactics that they had the last game, the last match, and in fact we're going to see in the replays in a moment, they're using the same tactics as Helm are using to the same effect as Helm.
Yeah, the interesting fact is that now they faced the Helm first time on this tournament, so I'm wondering if they will still try to what they will do with the strategies then, because they can't really use the Helm strategy. Well, they can, but not in the same way. Use the Helm strategies versus Helm. Here we have the replays. We can see a couple of very nice tosses. Of course, a couple of mistakes with the telehandlers were done as well. That's going to be the 102-point toss. Loiko going again. But even despite the great tosses, they didn't win a single game.
No.
So they lost it 2-0 to MyInsanity. There's a bit of a problem. I think this was in Jan was having a bit of an issue.
I think he clipped a tree or something with the auger on his way out. But yeah, they just played really, really well.
Yeah.
Now we do know previously that you can't beat Helm just by using Helm's tactics. If you play Helm beat for beat, tactic for tactic, you're going to lose. The question is very much going to be here: what can MyInsanity do to go and disrupt Helm, to cause that little bit of a problem that gives them that advantage? And that's what we'll be looking for, I think, in this first game.
Yeah, let's see. Best of 5, as we can see, Helm having one victory already there because they won the upper bracket, so that's the advantage they're getting from coming from the upper bracket. So basically Helm, by winning 2 matches in a row, they can win the grand final 3-0. But of course we hope that this is going to be an epic battle between the teams. We are not expecting to have any easy victories. These guys, they need to fight like titans. They need to clash. We want to see sweat, we want to see blood, we want to hear yelling. That's what we want to see and hear here. On the farm from 2024.
We want games that come down to the last bale and are won by the number of bales delivered. Hell, I'd like to see a game that's won by first claim, which, looking at this nice cheat sheet that Kermit's left for me, is right down the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Alex is kind of cheating here because he has the information sheet from Terminator, and then he has his own as well. And there's a funny fact that I can tell you yesterday what happened actually right before the broadcast, because people love to hear the background stories. So Terminator brought his scoring sheet all the way from America to Germany. And then he left it at the hotel. And when we were starting the broadcast, he noticed that it's at the hotel, so we drove as fast as my Hyundai i30 rental can actually go to the hotel to pick that up. And then we came back here, and then he had it all the way, and now Alex is having it as well. Yeah. So that's the story behind the score sheet. But meanwhile, let's talk about the game. So we have Unstoppable versus Unstoppable. We do have the telehandlers banned as well, so they are not on the play.
And Helm were the ones who banned the combine, so that left it open for MyInsanity to ban the telehandlers.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I mean, because MyInsanity did allow Trelleborg to play with the telehandlers, but they are clearly not comfortable by allowing Helm to play with them.
Because banning the harvester is more important than banning the telehandlers. But knowing Helm were banning the harvester meant they could ban the telehandlers and take them off the field.
Well, there we go. So no telehandlers. It's going to be the basic game. And, well, basic game. Maybe not basic game, but you know what I mean. The game without the fanciness of the telehandlers on the fields. And there we go. We're going to be heading out of the gate. We can see Martin actually crashing to the gate. and that's going to allow MyInsanity to win that battle. So PB is going to be heading towards the Harvester. We can see Helm going for the Baler, and that's actually an interesting, very slow way of getting that Baler, and he's not even going for that Baler. He's going to make a U-turn. We can see PB heading towards the fields. Let's see who actually has the Baler. So it looks to me that MyInsanity is actually having a better start.
Oh no!
They have claimed another one.
MyInsanity grabbed 2 Balers.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, they have claimed 2. So they are doing the disruptions already at the start of the game, and we can see that Helm is actually sent to the fields to a completely different location, and they are more further away. So this should be a good start for MyInsanity, but let's have a look when we finally see how the Baler is actually lining up. JK has the first Bale. He's going to be heading towards the bridges. What is happening on the MyInsanity side is that they are right there.
Far behind.
Yeah, they are slightly maybe further behind, but they did got those 2 Balers. It's not going to be that big of a difference, but there's something definite. JK from the right-hand side, he did do a couple of mistakes from this side yesterday, and to me it looks that he wants to reverse that in. So he wants to play that safe. He's not on the mood of doing the toss. 129, and what do we have from the MyInsanity side? It's going to be 124.5. So it's going to be just 4 points of a difference. So very, very close.
So that actually, straight off, we've got some great disruptive play here from MyInsanity. They sacrificed getting that huge, a larger first Bale to actually go and grab a couple of Balers, disrupt things a bit for Helm, and yeah, loving this play. This is the kind of play they need to make to win this.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Yeah, so close. So yeah, of course they are already collecting the grain as well. We can see the direct delivery is going to be picked by both of the teams, so that's even. So they will slowly start gathering grain to the silos already. And we'll see what's going to happen with the normal grain game. JK is going to be getting that trailer, of course, and we'll be starting to hunt the combines more or less to get the grain out of those to be delivered to the silos. And something tells me, and I might be completely wrong once again, but I do have this hunch feeling that we will see some early deliveries on this game.
Quite possibly. It would be a disruptive play. It's a little bit of a risk, but it would mean things that have to be run slightly differently in order to counter it. And I got an interesting bit here as well, that MyInsanity are slightly ahead. Their combines are running slightly ahead, and as a result, they have the opportunity to actually go higher in the grain game. Just trying to see what we've got. We've got 35,000, 36,000 litres there, 32,000 litres for MyInsanity. MyInsanity actually aren't ahead in the grain game, surprisingly.
Yep, they are. They're doing very well for the time being. So let's have a look how this is going to play out. I mean, the grain game is what I have myself, how I approach the grain game these days, that when they are collecting it, if there's a couple of thousands of a difference, I'm not really thinking about it at all, because they will just stop like some seconds differently and they will even it out. So it's all about when they are doing it, how much they are doing it, and how long they are doing it. But yeah, we'll see. So JK is going to come here, and let's see if there's going to be that early delivery. Could be just a setup that's going to be starting to build up here. And yeah, they will just leave it there. So no early delivery, at least for Helm. And we'll see what MyInsanity will be doing. I think they were there on the X-ray as well, so probably they left it there as well. They are so close to 2.1 though, that they could be tempted to just tip a little bit off. But who knows how that's going to play. And,
I think actually that's the reason as well for the difference in the grain at the moment. It looks like somehow they've scored a little bit of their grain.
Yeah, could be. Or maybe they just picked maybe they run with the direct delivery a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. The difference is anyways like so small. It's just like a 1,000 liters or something like that. So it's
actually,
it's very even.
That's
and 10
really
seconds
important.
the drops.
At one point, there was a good 6,000 litres extra for Helm over MyInsanity. MyInsanity have evened things up. Helm have gone ahead now because they're still harvesting while MyInsanity are getting stuff together. We got speed up and bridges lowered, so not really massively useful, especially where they're placed.
Yeah, nothing disruptive, and we haven't seen the grain multiplier today yet at all.
No.
So we'll see if that's going to come at some point on the grand final, but I don't mind. I mean, this is completely fine. We can see Hannes finding his way to the silo. They're going to start building that setup. and pouring down the grain. Same is going to happen for Helm for sure, and then we'll see how this is going to end up. Now we can see MyInsanity actually starting to do it already, so they are slightly ahead. They do have some bales pressed on the both sides, actually 3-5, which means that MyInsanity, if they kind of like, well, yeah, we can see Helm now starting to unload as well, so they don't have the time really on the MyInsanity side to utilize the multiplier as they were hoping for.
Bridges lowered, really useful at this stage actually, because now Helm are able to get lots and lots of bales back, and nothing. Oh no, MyInsanity are able to. Helm failed to pick up the power up.
Yeah.
So Helm's bridges are now going to block them, while MyInsanity have nearly 2 minutes worth of lowered bridges that they can quickly bring bales back with.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we can see Helm is going to be trying to score some bales with the higher multiplier, and they will get 22 points, 23 points from the second bale, I think. So this is going to work out nicely.
That's dangerous.
So a couple of points are going to be coming towards Helm, and they will get, I think, 24 points from the second bale, and now they have unloaded all of their grain. They're going to be ending up with 2.4, but now we'll see what MyInsanity can do about the multiplier. I think it's going to be pretty even in the end. It's going to be just barely 2.0. I think that's going to be the case. And yes, it is 2.0 for both of the teams. So it's going to be even, and for the time being, Helm, they have taken this slight lead here because they did have a couple more bales, they did deliver a couple bales, and now they have kind of jumped 50 points gap towards MyInsanity, and they are pretty much even with everything else.
Yeah, it's that little bit of advantage that they've given themselves, that they like to do, that they do so effectively.
Why not? I mean, if you get the advantage, of course you want to get it.
When
you play for 40,000 euros.
Score the points when you've got the multiplier.
Yeah. No, there's just 40,000 euros on the line, but we could get a slight advantage, but I don't know if we want to use it at all. I don't think that's going to be on the mindset of Helm for the time being. Lord Baylor with 2 bales are going to be spawning, and Helm is going to pick that up as well. So that's going to go very nicely to Helm. They will go to 216 points as we speak, and MyInsanity is finally going to be scoring some bales as well. Slightly more than 2.5 minutes to go. Beatmaster are going to be spilling out those bales like chewing gum out of the baler. They are just coming. And yeah, everything seems very nice for Helm for the time being. MyInsanity is not that far away, but they are not exactly having anything to really close that gap either.
That's the thing. I wonder if they've just been trying to get bales back because they had those bridges lowered. That would make sense. They definitely haven't been scoring them. They're going to have to watch it for the combo, although they have now scored. And PB taking a little bit dangerous here, going over the bridge before it's fully lowered. Oh, but lining things up for Jan as well.
Yeah. There we have the delivery. So Martin slightly ahead, putting the bales on the belt. I mean, even one mistake with the stacking here can actually cause the whole momentum shift for the game, as we are already on the final 2 minutes, but no mistakes for Martin. On the MyInsanity side, we can see that the bales are nicely on the belt as well, and they are scoring them in. So very steady flow of bales for the both sides, but they're doing it exactly with the same speed. We can see that the belts are having the same speed as well, so there's no differences at all. So it's all about the individual performances here, and like I said, the smallest mistake can change everything.
And we know Helm are damn good at this. You know, this is where they excel. So MyInsanity have really got to have their A game coming here, and they are still 50 points behind.
Yeah.
2.5 bales.
Yeah, now it's 70 points, and we have 1 minute to go.
They have the bales, though.
They have the bales.
If MyInsanity can score these, they have the bales.
Yeah, but can they put 11 bales on the second floor? I don't think so. It's going to happen, unfortunately. So it's all about how these will go in the final seconds. So this is going to be one nutcracker of a match, to be honest. This is going to go all the way to the final seconds. 45 seconds to go. PB is going to be putting something on the belt. So many bales are there. They need some help. They need some help with the stacking. We can see JK going for the fields. He's going to go for more. And meanwhile, I want to see Martin. He must be there. Yeah, he's doing the job, as we can see. Also, PP putting 2 bales on the belt. Those the Helm bales look a little bit shady, though. And one is going to fall down. And the second one is going to fall down as well. That is the mistake that they can't afford to have.
And it's look at this. Oh, my God. 15 seconds to go. 40 points in it. The bales are there for MyInsanity, but they've just got to score them.
Yeah, just 10 seconds, 11
It's
points.
1 point in it!
11 points, 1 point of a difference, and the
And where
Helm.
is
Can
it? Where
somebody
is
do
Martin?
that one?
It's
Well,
gone
no,
to
they cannot. It's
Helm!
going to be Helm by 1 point, claiming it in the
Oh my
end.
lord!
So Helm, look at this. They are smiling. They are smiling. I mean, Martin is smiling. JK is
MyInsanity
smiling. They are
just
all.
had nothing to
Speedmaster is
score
smiling.
with.
And you gotta be smiling with the 1 point difference. MyInsanity is looking absolutely stunned what just happened there.
Oh my, wow.
Oh. And Helm had 2 undelivered bales as well, but they didn't need them. 1 point is gonna be enough.
So I mean, there was literally nothing left there for MyInsanity to score with. There was nothing they could do in those last 10 seconds.
Oh.
And I was watching that. I was watching that throughout that whole game, and it being 50 points, 51 point difference.
Yeah.
And with the 2 points for every bale, 20 points for every bale going in, and going, but they've got to score an extra bale to do it.
Yeah. So
And
it's
it
all
wasn't there.
And you remember, Helm, they scored couple bales with that multiplier until MyInsanity unloaded their grain. So they got something like 5 extra points out of that one. I think they got one with the 23 points and one maybe with 24 or 22.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where the difference was actually made. Of course, the first bale and everything, but yeah, it's all about the small details. And this means that Helm is currently leading 2-0 the series, and by winning this next game, they can already claim the championship.
Yeah, MyInsanity really needed to come out in that first game and even things up in this final. Unfortunately, they've handed the advantage very much now to Helm. Helm are 1 game away from being the Season 5 FSL champions.
Yeah, let's see what's going to be the perks. And of course, are they going to change something with the telehandlers? I don't think so, but you can always hope for that. I mean, that is always a chance that they will do something about it. But knowing how well Helm is actually using the telehandlers, and we haven't seen MyInsanity to do any of those tricks, for example, the tosses, so then it's a pretty clear case that they don't want to Helm have the telehandlers. So this should be, telehandler. New Holland will be here. John Deere, plus Lexion, and then the second telehandler. Those should be the bans, as far as I know.
Unless Helm mix things up. Nope, Helm are not mixing things up. They've won so much today with that. I think they're looking at going that. Maybe next season.
Yep, there we had it.
The Twitch chat having great fun here. That's it. The Super Drop won it. The Lord Baylor. There are so many individual things in that last game you can point out and say that won it. Having 4 extra points on the first bale, that won it for Helm. Having scoring a load of bales with a higher multiplayer, that would have won it for them. There is so much that Helm did that just gave them lots of little advantages.
Yeah.
And, and you just grab those little advantages and they build up to a win.
Yeah.
That's what you need to go for.
Well, there we had it. We have the second, basically the third game, but the second game of the grand final, and this is the game where actually it is possible for Helm to grab the world championship already. We can see Martin heading towards the pad, so they did get out of the gates, didn't do the mistake this time, which he did on the last, so he didn't crash to the gate. We can see PB actually claiming that combine. So he's going to steal that away, and he's going to be getting away. Jan is going to be getting a bailer as well, so they are definitely on their way, and they do have the great location to make the first bail as well. Beatmaster, so definitely MyInsanity will have a great start for the game, and Helm, they are slightly struggling, but this is what we told on the previous game as well, and in the end they still got a better first bail, so we completely miscalculated it, so let's wait until we see, because PB has a great place here, but I want to see where the bailer is coming in.
Yeah, PB here getting a good start with the combine. Helm and Martin having to go in a little bit more obtusely for that first cut, trying to make it as easy as possible for Jan to Jan, for JK to get in there for the first bale. Jan is going to get a good score on this first bale, though.
Yeah, there we go. So Jan is,
Unless he misses.
He's going to reverse that in, but he's going to miss the reverse, and that happens very rarely, that you actually miss the reversing of the bale. And but yep, this time it just was supposed to happen. Jake is going to be coming in, has 2 bales, will put that 121 and 120, so 1 point of a difference. So in the end, they will have almost equal first bales, but we know from the last game how important that 1 point can be. So we'll see well, I mean, there was a chance for MyInsanity to have something like a 135-ish reversed first bale, if I saw it correctly. So that means that they kind of, with that reverse mistake, lost, well, let's say maybe about 10 points if you're going to be on the safe side on this one. And bale drop and the bridges race are going to be there. But they're very, very exciting situation here. So yeah, 121 for Helm, MyInsanity 120, and as mentioned earlier, this is the game. If Helm is going to win this one, they will claim the best of 5 grand final straight by winning it 3-0. So MyInsanity, they have their backs against the wall, and those small mistakes that we just saw from Jan, they just can't happen.
No.
It's not a possibility. This is the grand final, 40,000 euros on the line for the winner. You can't do mistakes by reversing.
No,
to the barn door.
You've got to get that first bale in. You've got to score the most points you can. As I said last game, the reason why Helm won it was simply because they took lots of little advantages. And you can point to any one of those advantages to why they won it. But they had all those little advantages, which just added up to that win.
Yeah.
And you can't be making the little mistakes, because those conversely add up to a loss. The more little mistakes you make, the more likely you are to lose.
Yeah, that's how the game works.
It is.
So yeah, we are already down to 7 minutes on the game. This is the grinding phase. We do have the big hole versus big hole, by the way, as I think mentioned earlier, but just to let you know. So we have the nice Optimus Primes as well on the field. And yeah, the grain strategy will be interesting because we have now about 50k collected, which means that I mean, you can still fill more on the big hole, so it's not the time yet. So it's I want to see, because yesterday we saw that once they went for the first delivery and then they collected more on the big hole as well, so they did like a 40,000 plus 40,000, something like that. And because in the past it was like a 60,000 plus some smaller amounts after that, maybe coming from the trailer or the combine even. So we'll just have to wait and see how they will decide to play it. We can see the players, they're not really stressing out much. I mean, Helm, they basically have 3 chances of winning that one game. And of course, MyInsanity is the one where all the pressure should be hiding right now.
And we've got Martin coming up to the end here. He's avoiding the edge, which I'm not quite sure why. But he is cutting round some weeds there at the top end. Jan now coming in with a nice full baler of bales. He's going to be dropping those off near to the barn. Will he get a nice pile there? It looks like he was going for a nice pile. We've got bridges raised and speed up, as are 2 5.5-minute drops. And yeah, again, I think bridges raised at this point would be fairly useful as a disruptive tactic.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact that we don't see the grain multiplier. It's hiding again.
Because
the grain multiplier, I mean, we know how the game goes with the grain multiplier in a way. So you can, in a way, abuse that a little bit. And I really like that when we don't have the grain multiplier, it's all fair and square, like honest hard work that the teams are doing without the multiplier. And then it's not about, so, you know, just like having tricks with the multiplier, if you catch what I mean.
Yeah. There's no... And this is potentially the final game of today.
Yeah, it could be. Who knows?
And as a result, we won't have seen the grain multiplier at all in these semi-finals and finals.
Yeah, there we go. The unloading starts. We can see Helm. They're going to be the first ones. We can see Hannes from the MyInsanity side as well, parking right next to the silo. And the unloading of the grain is going to start here as well. Both will have the combine right next to it, so they have a bit of an extra there waiting. So these strategies, I mean, they are so similar once again. And, I mean, what MyInsanity is trying to do here. They're trying to beat Helm in their own game. And you said it before the first game, Alex, that that's not how you beat Helm. And we saw that on the first game that they lost by 1 point. So yeah, it's getting pretty close there.
You've got to disrupt them. If you don't disrupt Helm, Helm will win.
But how would you disrupt them now? How can you stop Helm? I mean, if we would know the answer, we would be winning the 40,000 euros, right?
It's very true. And I will say, in that first game, MyInsanity did try and disrupt Helm. The trouble was, Helm made sure they had all those little advantages. So they need to, MyInsanity needs to be looking for those little advantages.
2.1 for Helm. So they actually did pull off some extra grain and they got the multiplier advantage. So they are getting 2 points more per each bale from here on. And that's basically every bale delivered because we only have seen the first bale so far and they even got 1 point more out of that one as well. So now we'll see how this is going to go. We are coming to final 3 minutes. The grain has been dumped. We know the multipliers. We know what needs to happen here. And now it's all about the stackers. And of course, the other people delivering the bales. So of course, they need to press some more bales. They can't stop that work for now. So they need to be they need to be pressing the bales. They need to be delivering them. And then the stacker next to the belt, he needs to be absolutely in, well, having the right mode on. You know, just do it.
Oh,
focus on the work. Get the bales on the belt.
Bottom boost for Helm. Bottom boost.
But do they have the bales?
For
they
Helm.
do have the bales.
The bales.
Martin's going to go for it. That's going to be 63. Points immediately right there. That's going to be 2 more. They still have, what do they have? They have still 5 seconds. Sorry, that's going to be 20 seconds more. They can actually put all of these bales in. And that's going to be a huge amount of points that they will claim, of course. And that's going to give them so much more time to actually press more bales. And deliver more bales on the belt. So this is a huge problem for MyInsanity. They need to somehow face that. We can see MyInsanity also trying to do something about it. But the Helm is going to take that lead. They are leading by 34 points as we speak. PB doing the work, having 3 bales on the belt. That's going to be great work. Martin playing with the JCB, and another 3 bales are heading towards the belt. So MyInsanity actually takes the lead, so they're definitely fighting back. It's almost like Star Wars again. The Empire Strikes Back. Alex, I'm your father.
That JCB, that is massively useful because it's really maneuverable. And if you know how to use it,
exactly tied 310.
Oh my God!
I don't know. I don't know if I have any nails left after this game because this is going to be such a thriller once again. We saw the first game, 1 point of a difference, and MyInsanity, they are fighting back. We thought that after the bottom boost that they are kind of like playing the catch-up, but no, they are proving us wrong.
But MyInsanity have a problem. They're scoring 2 points less for every bale they deliver. And while they've managed to have enough bales around here to take the lead, I'm not sure they can keep it because Helm are really good at delivering bales. They're out there gathering bales at the moment. That's why MyInsanity's gone ahead. If MyInsanity goes and gets a combo, which they won't because it's just been a bale's just been delivered for Helm to prevent that, Helm are going to get all these bales on here and they're not going to be able to counter it.
Yeah, those 2 bales are slightly on the side, but I think they're going to actually... It's going to go in, But I don't know, it's going to be 32 seconds actually remaining, and that's going to be a very hectic situation. MyInsanity has been leading now more than 100 points. Do they have the time to put all the bales on the second floor?
A good question.
It's getting very close at least, as MyInsanity is all the time putting the bales in as well. Helm, I'm not sure can they actually pull this off anymore, but let's see how the scores are going to be looking because we have only 10 seconds time of remaining. So many bales are on the belt, but it's also MyInsanity's bales are there. There's going to be more bales going in. It's going to be MyInsanity. They will claim it. Helm doesn't have the bales, and MyInsanity, they will fight back.
I honestly thought with 30 seconds to go, Helm was suddenly going to pull something out. Because they do so often. But no, MyInsanity played a blinder. They made sure they had the bales, they got them there, they got them scored, and they countered that.
Yeah, that's something definitely. I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, Helm, they had it very nicely, but then MyInsanity, they just found the secret key on the middle of everything. And a very good job from MyInsanity. They actually even managed to not just like like they take the gap away, but they actually managed to build a gap for themselves, and they were just getting away. So yeah, there we go. Helm with the 2-1 scoreline in the lead, still on the grand final, but 3-1. Well, you need 3 matches, 3 victories to win it. So Helm, they need to still win 1 more, and Helm, MyInsanity needs to win 2 more, pending, of course, how it goes. So still, even though MyInsanity did get the 1 match out of the series, they still have their backs against the walls.
But the fight back has begun. I mean, that was a convincing win. And if they can do that again, that puts it down to an even game. You know, that means that there is the next team just takes it. So we're going to see. We've got the next match coming up. We're going back in. MyInsanity need to win this to stay in this, to take it to a 4th game, and to decide this this championship. What a nail biter this is.
Yeah, this is there. But that's how the grand final should be as well. I mean, this is exactly what we were hoping for, that we have a great and close series. And yeah, we do have the telehandlers. They're going to be banned for sure. So MyInsanity will ban the other telehandler, and the second one is going to come later. Meanwhile, Helm is going to, of course, take the John Deere and the Lexion. And so we know how the bans will go. I don't think that there's going to be any kind of a variation on these, because this is kind of like the line that has been set and how the plan has been laid down. So then it's all about the, yeah, I mean, we do have the perks coming in. And what I really like on this best of 5 series, that if we go all the way to the last game of the series, we are running out of perks.
We are running out of perks.
So then we actually have something else. So now we have the bottleneck, but then the next game, if we actually go to the final game, they need to play with the herbicide or without the perk.
Yeah,
and
it's either no perk or herbicide.
Yeah.
You're right.
So let's see if we go all the way there. But this is exactly what we are hoping from the grand final. The individual player choices not going to bring us any surprises, I think. You never know. I mean, sometimes you see the forklift there. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be something we'll be seeing on the grand final. So we're just going to be heading towards. And we have seen how close these games are. Okay, the second game wasn't as close as the first one. But we can definitely say that the first bale does have an impact. Yesterday we saw 1 first bale from Helm. They didn't get the first bale at all. Yeah. And that would be minus 100 points. So they are very impactful. And we'll see if there's going to be anything happening for now.
Before we kick off, I just want to say quick big hello and welcome along to Flue Agra, who has bought a massive raid. So welcome, Raiders. You join us at a crucial point in the FSL Grand Final.
Exactly.
It is everything to play for right now.
Yeah, there we go.
PB has managed to get the New Holland Combine, and Jan has got a close baler. This could be a really fast first bale if he can connect up to it.
Yeah, Jan is having a bit of a struggle with the catching the baler, but he's going to be in the end getting it out of the pad. And they're going to be heading towards the barn. I see PB is going to go there to the right side of the field, and that is exactly the place where you get the highest points. So if you just get the baler behind that, we can see JK and Martin, they are heading here. They will take the different side of the field, but they have been doing pretty good job actually from this location in the first bales in the earlier 2 matches. And Jan is going to be ready, and let's see, there's actually chances for a very good first bale. If he's going to toss that in, we could be looking at 145-ish, maybe even better. He's going to toss that in. No, he's going to reverse that in, but it's still going to be 144, I think. 144, I think 143, 142. It has a slight delay. So MyInsanity will get the first bale on point. Yeah, JK, they didn't have the greatest starting point for the work, and he also needs to go all the way from the safer route, so the final bridge, and that's going to cost some very important time. So Helm is going to be at least 20 points away, more than that, maybe 25 points depending how the delivery is going to go. So let's see how this will go. This is going to be like at 117, so they're going to be 35 points away.
That's actually a big gap on first bale. That's a huge advantage straight out of the gate.
And my calculator is not working. 25 points away, but it's still going to be more than
a
one
bale.
Yeah, more than a bale. 1.25 bales in Alex's terms. So that's the starting point. So yeah, MyInsanity is actually finding a very good pace here once again, and we'll see how Helm is going to be responding to this as we get 8 minutes on the clock. Of course, the usual work. Both teams are, by the way, being up the speed limit, which came at the same time as we spoke about the first Bales. So the first drop or the perk which appeared and was picked was the speed limit. So we're going to be waiting for the next wave of the drops, which is going to happen in about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But for the time being, now the teams are going to be just collecting the grain. And we can see that MyInsanity, because of the faster first bale, they are also now 5,000 liter more grain being collected.
But more than that, they are really far behind. I mean, you look at where Helm are, and they've only just emptying their first combine, having just picked up the overloader. The overloader is full for MyInsanity. That is a crazy difference in their field positions, and that just says that it's not just a grain advantage that MyInsanity has at the moment. It's a time advantage. They are going to be ahead on straw. They're going to be baling before. They're going to be in position to drop off before.
Yes.
They're in such a strong position right now, MyInsanity.
Yeah, that's true, and we'll see how will Helm recover from. I mean, it's 25 points, so it's not the end of the world, but it is something. And as we have seen how close these games are, and I was really surprised and I'm happily surprised on the previous game how well MyInsanity played the mid game and the end game. They were actually performing better than Helm, which happens like very rarely. So them having an advantage at this point is quite scary, actually, to be honest. So we'll see how this is going to play out. And if MyInsanity can take this to 2-2, I would love to see the final game of this series as well. And yeah, that's the case for sure. Anyways, we are closing on 5.5, which means that the drops are coming in. We can see JK dropping the trailer. For sure, I don't think there's going to be any kind of a delivery, so they will stick with the same strategy that no early deliveries, and they want to wait for that grain multiplier if that's going to be hitting in somehow. Meanwhile, Martin working at the field as well. JK is going to be jumping and just walking there, running towards the other utilities that he wants to control. And yeah, 10 seconds for the drops.
Martin coming up to the end here, switching across to open things up a little bit. Oh, and just sort of heading across.
Ooh.
There it is!
There it is.
There is the grain multiplier.
Yeah, 1.5 for MyInsanity. And then Helm, I think they might have a slightly bigger multiplier. So we'll just have to wait and see what it's going to be. But anyway, it's going to be grain multiplier. So not delivering the grain before this has been collected is, of course, something that the teams are not going to be doing. They're just building up the setups, and then they will go and pick up the grain multiplier, and then they will start supplying the grain to the silo, because the JK heading slightly towards that area will decide to do a couple of bales on the way before he will go and pick that up. And they still have about 15 seconds to do it, and now JK is going to go for it. So he's going to go for the grain multiplier for sure, and has the time easily, running in his fancy clothes in the field.
Giving himself a maximum. It's a 1.6 multiplier.
Yeah, slightly bigger.
MyInsanity need to be scoring bales now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then we have the unloading happening. MyInsanity, they are unloading. Are they actually doing anything with the bales? That is a question we don't know the answer for, as we don't see currently what is happening around the belt area. Do they even have any bales pressed? That's something that we don't know. But yeah, we can just follow up the scores.
I do not think there is nobody by their barn at all.
Yeah, so probably no deliveries at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see. They still have the advantage on the multiplier, 2.2. And to me, if I look at the amount of grain, it's going to be quite even. With the multiplier, I'm not sure where it's going to be ending up, but I think it's going to be quite even. Something actually tells me that Helm somehow could even maybe get 2.1 with the multiplier, but that could be something that the answer is only in the calculator of Trelleborg.
And it's still in MyInsanity's advantage here. That little bit of extra grain they got, that extra 5,000 liters, that might be enough to stave this off.
Yeah, let's see how it's going to end up with the multipliers, because that's what we're going to be seeing that in a matter of seconds, and it's going to be 2.0 for sure. Yeah, it's going to be 2.0.
Oh,
so
it's spot on.
Yeah, no 2.1 at all,
Wow.
unfortunately. So 2.0, so they're going to be exactly tied. So the grain multiplier and the grain in total is
Oh,
not
and
going to
Jan's
change
dropped a
anything.
bale.
And now it's all about the bales and the deliveries. 9 bales, so both teams are having exactly the same amount of bales. Press, we are starting the final 3 minutes. The multiplier, which is going to be the super drop, not going to do anything
No
about
help
the situation
at all.
all.
With the super drop.
That doesn't do a thing. So it's all about the efficiency once again, just like the last game.
And this is the point that Helm does excel. This is the time when Helm are just able to press and get bales in really quickly. MyInsanity have got to match that, because that the advantage they have, the 60-odd point, 70-odd point advantage they have at the moment, that will disappear fast.
Yeah, that will disappear. I'm really curious to see. I mean, if MyInsanity actually has the same performance. Martin's, by the way, dropping 1 bale. And so Helm is going to be doing some mistakes here as well. So we have starting the final 2 minutes. And if MyInsanity plays this the same way as they played the previous game, I think Helm might be in trouble.
Helm have the opportunity here, though, to get a multiplier. Nobody is about from MyInsanity. Nobody is near their belt at all. And there are 5 bales sitting there scored, 6 bales sitting there scored for Helm. Helm will be lining up for a multiplier right now.
Yeah, let's hope that, well, let's see what they will come up. Will they get the combo? That is something that they can do. I think they're only missing 4 bales out of it. So it's completely doable to actually get the combo. Especially as there's, like you said, Alex, nobody currently operating the belt at the MyInsanity side. But now Hannes is going to be coming there, and this could be somehow, of course, destroying the plans as there is nothing happening on the Helm side.
Helm don't have the bales to do the multiplier.
Yeah, they don't have, and they have nobody here for the time being.
No.
So, yeah, of course, that's going to be a problem. Martin's going to come with the bales, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that MyInsanity will put a couple of bales on the belt. Yeah, they're going to be taking away that 6 combo. Bales for the moment, and that's going to be reset back to 0. Helm has taken the lead though, but the MyInsanity has been very strong. The final minute is starting as we speak, and this is it. This is the moment when Helm needs to be excelling. But something tells me I see more movement, more people, more bales on the side of MyInsanity, and if everything goes according to the plan, then I think that MyInsanity, they have a chance of forcing this all the way to the final game.
I mean, the points keep closing up and then widening and closing up and widening, and it's just going back and forth. We're into the last 30 seconds. There is only 50 points in it, but Helm is once again delivering bales and scoring points. There's now 70 points in it, and nearly 100 points in it. Helm are pulling away here in the last 15 seconds. It looks like Helm are going to take this. MyInsanity are desperately trying to score bales.
10 seconds to go.
10
it's going to be so
left.
close. There's going to be 5 bales remaining, 8 bales for the MyInsanity.
This is going to go to Helm. Helm have the bales and the points to take the FSL.
There we had it.
For another season.
Yeah, Helm is going to take the victory. They will claim the championship of the season 5. I mean, they won it almost flawlessly. They lost 1 game yesterday to Just the Track Day, and they lost 1 game to MyInsanity. But they won all the series, all the way from the upper bracket. They won all the series, claimed the spot on the final, and in the end beat MyInsanity on the final as well.
Yeah, fantastic play from Helm. Only dropped a few games. You know, they dropped the odd game here or there, but you know, went through on the upper brackets, and yeah, lost 1 game to MyInsanity in the final.
Yeah, that is something definitely. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, Helm, they played so well. They started the season very strong, of course. Then kind of like on the mid-season, we saw more teams challenging them. And now when we came towards the end of the season, we saw some very, very tight series. But Helm still kept the kind of like of course, the top spot. They won the last tournament as well and so on. So they have been playing really well. And even despite the fact that the other teams have been kind of like, you know, advancing and finding new strategies and finding the ways to, in a way, gain more points. Helm, they have still kept their position and still, you know, be the team that everybody else is going to be compared to.
And here we go. Presentation of the prizes. Our winners for Season 5 of the Farming Simulator League.
Yeah, there we had it. The check is coming, so they're going to be having a payday today, and that's going to be actually 28,500. So it's not going to be 40,000 for the winner, but the prize pool total is 80,000 euros, meaning that of course all the top 8 teams are going to be getting some share of the money.
It might be 40,000 with the other prizes that come.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there's actually, you're probably right. They have a cash and then they have some product prizes as well. So yeah, so maybe they will drive away with a 1 Fendt tractor from here. That's maybe worth of 12,000 or something like that. Right?
But yeah, congratulations, Helm. An absolutely amazing season and an absolutely amazing win.
Yeah, there we had it. So they will claim the victory, and JK seems very happy. I mean, he's right there on the middle, and yeah, we do have the money or the check that's going to be, of course, given to them. And yeah, there we have one happy team. So Helm will claim the World Championship 2024.
Yeah, fantastic season. So well played to them. So dominant the whole way through.
Yeah. Well done.
Well played.
So I'm curious to know, I mean, is there anything that can stop these guys? I want to see the next season, if this whole same kind of a development keeps on going, which we have seen now, that all the other teams are kind of catching up on Helm. These guys, I mean, celebrate now, but next year, we'll see.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a hard-fought thing. But yeah, for now, they are once again our champions. Have been since season 3.
Yeah, they have played really well, and I mean, MyInsanity, they played really well the grand final as well. They managed to take 1 round on their names. They kind of like had the keys as well. I'm not sure what actually happened in the last game in the end, because they were not really able to keep up with Helm at the end at all. They had the Bales, but somehow it just didn't work out. The multiplier was the same, and the Helm was just getting away all the time. Helm didn't get the combo even, so just saying that there was no obvious reason why Helm was actually getting away. But the yeah, Helm definitely deserved the victory. They have been the benchmark for all the teams. If you ask from any team on the league, they always say that Helm is the team that they will, you know, they compare themselves.
So FarmCon has just been announced for next year as well, 5th and 6th of July. I don't know if we have a location yet, but yeah.
Yeah, the venue will follow.
5th, 6th July. So this weekend, next year. We will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for joining us this season. We will see you at the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.